Hey YouTube, Sid Faltimus here, back with another probably not so quick video. I just wanted to demonstrate something that I thought was interesting. It was an interesting little experiment and it seems to work great. And who knows, maybe it'll open up the pathway to other games of its sort. If these screens don't mean anything to you, they are, over here we have two emulated sessions of a TI-99 4a using Classic99. And over here we have my real Texas Instruments computer, which is down here. Who knows, maybe at the end of the video I'll explain what all that is, because it is pretty modified with a bunch of extras and bells and whistles and stuff. One of the extras is called a TiPi. I am on the beta test team, so I have one now. They're not readily available yet. There's going to be a P-Box version created, so that's currently in development, and until everything's ready and all the software is done and all the bugs are worked out and functionality is added, then we'll see that in public release. So if you're wondering why I'm all hooded up and look like I'm outside, because it's really cold in my basement in the winter. I don't like to run heaters in the basement because my computers like the cold. So I like to keep it cold for them, and I don't mind it myself. But anyway, besides that, what I wanted to show was TiPi allows the TI, it's a hardware interface card that allows a real iron Texas Instruments computer to use Samba shares on a Raspberry Pi. The TiPi connects to a Raspberry Pi, and through special software and a specially configured DSR and everything, the TI-99 4a can use Samba shares on the TiPi as disk drives, floppy disk drives. And oddly enough, Classic99 can work that way as well. Classic99 can be configured, it's an emulator. It can be configured to use a network share as a floppy drive as well. So I thought, well, here's my two Classic99 sessions on one PC. I'm going to show you this first. So I don't know how good it'll show up on screen, but this disk here under disk 1 is pointing to the Samba share that I set up called TSK1 for testing. TSK1 on my Windows Q drive is pointing to a TSK1 folder in the TiPi share on the Raspberry Pi. And this Classic99 is also configured the same way. So what am I going to do? They're both pointing to the exact same DSK1, right? So we're going to load up Extended Basic, come here, load up Extended Basic, and then we'll load the program on both. Old DSK1 dot number game console versus console demo 2. I'm doing that in lowercase. I really shouldn't be. I'll change the caps now. So that's loaded. Over here we'll go old DSK1 dot ngcdc 2 and hit enter. If you check the links, there'll be a link to the Atari Age forums in the TI-99 4a developers group where you can download this and check it out yourself. So now that I got the program loaded in both different consoles, and these I'm just showing you because it's easier to show you on one big screen, but this could be running here and I could be running this session on a laptop. So you can play head-to-head with somebody who's on the same local area network connected to the same share. It doesn't have to be on the same computer. It most certainly can be on two different computers. So now we'll run it. We'll run, come here, run, and the program on each end is going to ask if you are player 1. And so you decide amongst yourselves who's going to be player 1, who's going to be player 2. Flip a coin, whatever you got to do. And that's how, when you say yes on one screen and no on the other, that tells the local program on that TI how to behave. And it starts pulling the floppy disk drive a file called player control, and that player control file
stores a single variable saying whether it's a 1 or a 2. So it's player 1's turn or it's player 2's turn. And when player 1 is done and the results are known, it will then open that file. Player 1 will open that file, change that number to a 2, close that file, and then this console will open that file and see that it changed to 2 and know that it's its turn now to go. So the player 1 side will go into like a pause loop, polling that file for changes to see that number 2 go back to a 1, and the player 2 console will continue playing. Source code is available in the zip download as well, so you can look at that. It's really pretty simple to understand. So this is going to be player 2, this is going to be player 1, just for this quick demo. So we're going to say no here and hit enter, waiting for player 1 to start the game. Here we're going to say yes, we are player 1, and here we are. So you can see on player 1's screen, he sees, I'm thinking of a number from 1 through 100, please make your guess player 1, and you got an input prompt here. And player 2 has got to wait. So it says it, I'm thinking of a number from 1 through 100, waiting for player 1 to make a guess, and there's no input prompt. So over here, player 1, 1 to 100, we're going to pick 50, right? Easiest number to go. Hit enter. 50 is too low. It saves that information to a separate file. Player control now switches control back to player 2, over to player 2. This program picks up that it's its turn to move now, and now it knows that player 1 guessed 50, which is too low. So we're going to go with 75. We got to make the screen active. 75. Enter. 75 is too high. Control switches over to this console. Player 2 guessed 75, which is too high, so he knows it's between 50 and 75. We'll go with 60 over here. 60. 60 is too high, so now player 2 knows. So between 60 and 50, we'll go 55. Okay. 55 is too low. We'll go 57 here. 57 was correct. Player 1 wins. Play again, yes or no. Player 2 is notified that player 1 wins, and player 2 is asked if they would like to play again, yes or no. Doesn't matter if this is player 1 or player 2. This could be player 1, this could be player 2. It works either way. So that's interesting there. Now what I'm going to show you is what TiPi allows us to do. So I'll close one of these, and just for simplicity, I will break this program. New. Okay. My real iron TI is on a KVM because I have it attached to a USB keyboard. That's through another adapter. Developed by the same person who's on the development team for TiPi, by the way. All the links will be in my description. So, what I have to do is I have to go to my KVM button, which is over here, and switch to TI. And I wait for the keyboard status light to go okay. It's good. Now, I have a Finalgram cartridge, TI-99. That's outside the scope of this video, but through this I can load up my program if I load up the extended basic cartridge. But right now I'm going to load up the editor assembly cartridge and bring up the TiPi config so that you can see where the DSK1 of this real iron TI is pointing to that same TSK1 folder that I set up on the TiPi share. 2 B option 5, and it is on device TiPi, and it is called TIPI-CFG. And there you go. As soon as PI status, that's the configuration file, as soon as that finishes loading, you'll see this is where you assign your disk mappings. We're not concerned with anything else here. But you'll see DSK1
is configured to TSK1. That's the exact same TSK1 that this emulated TI is looking at as well. So we'll quit this program. We will reset the final GROM so that it doesn't stay with the EA5 cartridge, because we want to use we want to use Extended Basic. So we'll go to back to final GROM, B, C. Now we're in Extended Basic here, same screen. So on here we're going to type old DSK1 dot number game CDC D2, hit enter, and then we have to switch the KVM back to the PC. And do the same. Old DSK1 dot ng CD2. And I could, but I was just thinking of something, which is why, anyway. I could be running the program now. I just, and I could even say yes if I'm player 1 or no if I'm player 2 now. But, why? I just started here. Run. It doesn't make a difference. So that's running. We'll go back to the real TI, and we will do the same here. Run. So these TIs are not physically connected. The Raspberry Pi is connected through Wi-Fi on my LAN. So this is, you'll see the programs now interacting over TCP/IP through that file share and whatnot. Are you player 1? We're going to say yes here. Now it's waiting for player 2. I got to switch back to the emulated console on the PC. And I'm going to say no here. If both of you say yes, the game will never start. You'll both be waiting for player 2 to join. If both of you say no, the game will never start. You'll both be stuck waiting for player 1 to join. So one of you has to say yes, the other has to say no. And you can see, it's waiting for player 1's guess here, of input here, and over here it's waiting for player 1's turn to be finished. So we go back to the real TI. We'll put in 50 as soon as the keyboard's ready. Ready, put in 50. Player 1 gets 50, which is too high. It's no longer player 1's turn. It's now player 2's turn, and it tells player 2, player 1 gets 50, which is too high. And then player 2 goes. On the PC side, 25. Still too high. Over here, player 1 gets the same message and is asked for his input, and the game goes on and on and on until somebody wins, and it works. How does it work? Well, seeing as we're dealing with we're really dealing with file access. It's how the Linux handles the file access on its Samba share, and how Windows handles the file access in Windows. Yes, both TIs could be hitting the same file at the same time, where one of them is trying to read the file over and over again, looking for the player controller to change, and the other one has to write to that file in between that polling to actually change the number. So that obviously creates a lot of errors, and without using on error in Extended Basic to not stop the program, but to redirect a different behavior, which in my case is just to go back and retry until there's no errors. So it does generate a lot of errors, and it would not work ever by any stretch of the imagination on a real floppy drive. But over a shared network, it works just fine, even if you were to do it local on your computer. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be an external share somewhere. It could be on your PC. But that's it. I think my next demo will probably be something like a dumbed down version of Battleship. I'm thinking of doing that. Turn-based. It's a simple turn-based game, and
we'll see how that goes, and we'll incorporate some graphics there. So we'll see how we can transfer variables back and forth between the real-iron TiPi TI and emulated console and see how that goes. That's it. Just want to show you guys that, and hopefully you dig it like I do. Have fun retro computing, if that's what you want to call it. I call it having fun with the machines that brought me happiness throughout my life. That's all it's about. Enjoy your day. Like, subscribe, share. It helps.